In this video, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to Paprika, a great recipe app that's available for iPhone, iPad, Android, Windows, and macOS. I've been using Paprika for 9 years, and although I have, this is not a sponsored video. You can learn more about the Paprika app over at paprikaapp.com. I put some timestamps in the description so that you can jump exactly to the section you want, and you don't have to listen to me ramble on and on about the different things in this app. Paprika is available on numerous platforms. It's highly rated on the Google Play Store and on the Apple App Store. It has a rating of 4.9 with more than 10,000 reviews and ratings in each one of those stores. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what Paprika is, and then I'll take you on a tour of how to use it. Paprika, like I mentioned, is a recipe app that you can use to collect recipes, find recipes, you can share them with other people, and you can do a few more things too that I'll show you in the next little bit. The first thing I'm going to do is show you how to add a recipe to Paprika. I do have it on all of the various platforms, iPhone, iPad, Android, Mac, and Windows. However, I find that I use it the most on my iPhone. So that's what I'm going to show you today. So if we go to my iPhone, I've already searched for Paprika and I purchased it for $4.99. And this is it. The first time that you open Paprika, you might see an introduction screen. But if you dismiss or step past the introduction screen, you'll land right here, which is the Paprika app. I have no recipes. So let's fix that. I'm going to tap the plus sign here on the upper right, and I'm going to add a recipe called lemonade. And I'm going to skip over the photos and the ratings for now. I'm going to go to ingredients. The ingredients is 3/4. So let's find down here, 3/4 cup of water. And it's 2 tablespoons juice. And it's 2 tablespoons of sugar. The directions, really easy. Combine ingredients, stir until sugar dissolves, and then serve over ice. All right, let's go ahead and tap save here. I have now saved a recipe into Paprika. It's not a very interesting looking recipe, but you know what? Let's go ahead and tap on that, and I'll show you that. I've got lemonade here. It doesn't have a rating because I haven't rated it yet. There are my ingredients. There's my directions. Let's go ahead and edit this because I do have a picture that I'd like to set up as the representation of this recipe. Let's go ahead and tap on that. Choose photo library, and I found a glass of lemonade to represent my recipe. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap save here. I have now saved a recipe into Paprika. Now, one of the things that I like the most about Paprika is that it has this ability to scale and convert your recipes. So here you can see I have created a recipe for a single glass of lemonade, but let's say that I wanted to make more than 1 glass. I'm gonna click here or tap here on scale and convert. Tap there on scale, and I'm going to make it 4 glasses, 4, and then I'll tap away, and now you'll see my 3/4 cup has turned into 3 cups of water, 8 teaspoons of real lemon juice, and 8 teaspoons of sugar. I use that all the time. Now, let's return to the list of the recipes. You might say to yourself, well, that's great. I only have a single recipe. What if I don't have a recipe? What if I don't know anyone who knows how to make these things? Is there a way for me to just search for them and bring them into Paprika? Yes. Paprika has a built-in web browser in all of the versions of the app across the different platforms. If you tap here on the menu, you can see there's a browser. And what's nice about it is the first time you go to this browser, when it loads, you get some instructions on how to use it to search for a recipe. So I'm going to search here for oatmeal cookies. And then when the results show up, it's just a web browser. These are the results that you find if you search in any web browser at all. I'm going to scroll down a little bit until I find one that looks appealing. This one from All Recipes looks good, so I'm going to tap on that one. And you'll see that it shows me the page just like it would in any other browser. However, at the very bottom, I have a little navigation here, and one of those choices is download. This is where I can tell Paprika, hey, look at this recipe and do your best at extracting the recipe information and putting it in the various places that it belongs in the Paprika app. It's been my experience that Paprika does a great job of this. So you can find recipes from pretty much anywhere online and then tap save. And now you've saved them into your recipe list. Now I'm back in the browser here. So I'm going to tap here on the menu. I'm going to go to my recipes list. And now you can see soft oatmeal cookies are in my recipe list. And if I tap on that, it's got the information about the cook time and so on. It's got the ingredients, of course, my option to scale, as well as the directions. Now, something that I learned in preparing for this video is that there are links throughout the directions here. Notice that I've got a 1 hour reference that's a link, a 5-minute reference is a link. It turns out that Paprika is smart about times, and you can use that to let you create timers as you prepare the recipe. So if I tap here on an hour and I hit start, I'm going to allow notifications. And when I tap away here, you'll see that in the bottom right corner, my timer is still going. Now, if I tap here on this 5-minute timer, I can start that one as well. And Paprika is smart enough to let me have more than one timer. So if I tap here in the bottom right, you can see there's my 5-minute timer as well as my 1 hour timer. So let's go ahead and delete this one. So that is how you can find a recipe and how you can add a recipe into Paprika. Let's talk about groceries. So if I go here to the soft oatmeal cookies and I decide, I want to make one of these, but I don't know if I have all the ingredients, I can tap here on the shopping basket and pick from this list of ingredients which ones I'd like to add to my shopping list. So the next time I head to the store, I have a quick reference of the things that I need for this recipe to be made. You can, by default, have this go to your default shopping list, but you can customize where this list ends up. So let's go ahead and tap cancel out of here. The next thing I want to show you is this little calendar button. This allows you to plan when you're going to create this recipe. So let's go ahead and tap here, and let's say that tomorrow, next, I wanted to create this recipe and tag it as a snack, and then hit save. You can see if I return to my main list of items in my recipe and I tap here on the menu button, I've got meals. And when I go to meals, I can scroll to tomorrow's date, and there are my soft oatmeal raisin cookies. So you can use Paprika to plan for different meals. As a matter of fact, if I tap on the menu here, you'll see we've talked about recipes, we've talked about the browser, we've talked a little bit about groceries. I haven't used the pantry so much, but the pantry is supposed to allow you to say which items you have already, as opposed to the grocery list, which items you need to get. And then meals, we just mentioned. There's also menus, which is a way for you to collect various recipes that you make all the time and put them together. Perhaps you're meal prepping or what have you. And then, of course, there are settings and setup sync. When you purchase Paprika, you get access to something called Cloud Sync, which allows you to create a free account with Paprika. And then if you have more than one device, like you have an iPhone and maybe you have an iPad, you can sign into the same Cloud Sync on both of those devices. And so whenever you add a recipe to one device, the next time you open Paprika on the other device, that recipe will show up there too. So that is a little bit about Paprika. Last thing I want to show you guys is how to share a recipe with someone else. So for that, I'm going to go back to the recipes list. And let's say that I want to take this soft oatmeal cookie and share it with someone. There are a number of ways that you can share recipes in Paprika. The first is to tap the menu here and print. You can print or make a PDF if you like. So there's a full page option, an index card, index sheet. I'm going to choose a full page. I'm going to hit next, and you'll see this is what the printout might look like if you choose to print it onto paper. Of course, like I said, you can make it electronic, and there you go. So let's go ahead and back out of here. And I'm going to show you again under the ... menu button here. You can choose to email. That's another way that you can share with other people. And your built-in email app opens up. You get a well-formatted message, address it to who you want, and tap send. Let's go ahead and delete the draft of that. The third way that you can share is by just tapping share here. And if you choose to share, you get to choose whether you want to share that source link. So in our case, that oatmeal recipe we got from All Recipes, we could share that link. We can share the Paprika file if we're sharing it to another Paprika user, or we can share the recipe text. So let's go ahead and choose recipe text, and you'll see you got all of the usual sharing options available: AirDrop, text message, email, copy the text, etc. Now, one last thing here on the sharing Paprika option is if you do share the Paprika file, when you choose to share the Paprika file, it actually attaches a mini database to your message. And when the recipient gets it, if they also have Paprika, they can open that in their Paprika app, and it'll automatically import those one or more recipes all at once into their recipe collection. So that's a brief introduction to Paprika, a great recipe management app I've been using for a long time. Do you have a favorite app that you like to use? Please drop it in the comments. I'd love to check it out. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment with your tech questions, and I'll see you in the next video.